Every weekday, I wake up and go into a world that asks me to be efficient, focused, and productive. Honestly, that version of me is not the whole story because when I'm at my 9 to 5 work, I sometimes feel like I disappear. But when I paint, I remember who I am. For a long time, I felt like I was living two separate lives. There is me at my work, the one in Google Meetings, checking off tasks, replying to email messages, and there is the others me, a version of me that only exists after 6 p.m. when my energy already running on empty. I always knew I loved painting, but it took years of working, getting overwhelmed, and feeling disconnected to realize I had left a part of myself behind. When I started painting again, I found another version of myself that I hadn't seen in years, a peaceful, creative, and whole. Painting isn't just a hobby for me, it's a reminder of who I am when no one watching. The moment I pick up a brush, everything slows down. There's no deadlines, no meetings, no one judging me. And I'm not criticizing myself. I'm not feeling guilty for not being productive. When I paint, I express everything I'm feeling without needing to explain a thing. Maybe that's why I've always been strangely drawn to portraits. The first time I painted one portrait, my first portrait in oil, something just clicked on me. It was like I saw pieces of myself in every face I brought to life. I've always been a daydreamer. Maybe I was born to be a daydreamer ever since I was a kid. I've always loved getting lost in my own little world that's soft and romantic and a little wide and full of beauty, and paintings let me just live there, if only for a little while. I think we live in a world that constantly tries to define us by what we do, not who we are. And I've been there. I used to doubt myself so much, especially at work. Every criticism felt like a personal failure. Every mistake echoed louder than it should have. I used to believe I was my productivity and my worth tied to how efficient I was, how successful I looked on paper, and the title printed under my name. And honestly, it wore me down. It chipped away at my soul. But now I can finally say, for I think after such a long time, that I'm not just my job. I am a creator, a feeler, a whole human being. And if you're watching this and you feel completely burned out, anxious, or like you're losing yourself in your work, I want you to know that I see you. You're not just your job. Your value doesn't begin or end with a paycheck. You are so much more than what the world tries to measure you by. Okay, I want to share a few things about the painting I'm showing you right now. I use oil paint for this one and I work in layers. I usually start by establishing the main shapes of the face, laying down the big form first, and then as the painting progresses, I slowly move into the details. I don't really wait for each layer to dry before moving on. Most of the time, I use a wet on wet technique, just laying paint while it's still fresh. With each layer, I use thicker paint and increase the color saturation bit by bit. Since I don't have much time to paint consistently, a piece like this usually takes me around 2 weeks to finish. I mostly paint at night until during the weekdays, and even then, not every night. Honestly, I wish I had more time to paint. Some days I feel guilty not touching the canvas at all. But hey, don't be like me. It's okay to take breaks and giving yourself time to rest because it doesn't make you any less of an artist. I made this little sketchbook just for myself to practice painting light. Whenever I come across a photo that catches my eyes because of its color or lighting, I just save it. Or maybe just some scene in the movie, I found it so cute and I will save it on Pinterest and later I will paint it here. It's such a fun and relaxing practice where there's nothing serious, no pressure to create a masterpiece or I have to think about the composition, the colors. All I need to do is just copy from the images and I feel not stressed about creating or drawing a canvas because this is just a small studies on paper. So the whole process feels really freeing, just painting for the joy of it. To be honest, sometimes I really struggle with perfectionism. I feel tense or frustrated when the painting doesn't turn out the way I imagine, and that's pressure, it can get very heavy. But when I take a step back, I start to see it more clearly. That's pressure that need for everything to be perfect. It slowly drains away the very energy that brought me to painting in the first place. I didn't come to art because I wanted to impress anyone. I paint because I love it. I just always keep reminding myself about that. It's really important because it makes me feel alive, because it helped me express emotions I can't always put into word. And honestly, because I need to paint, just simply that's what I really want and I can't live without that. And it's how I remember who I am. It's how I reconnect with what truly makes my heart feel full. And once I shifted that mindset, I started to feel much lighter and less pressure, less stress, and just more freedom to enjoy the process again. I'm not going to pretend that I paint every single day. Actually, there's some days I don't even want to pick up the brush. I feel so tired and life gets busy. Sometimes I just want to hang out with my friends or just lay on absolutely doing nothing. And honestly, that's okay. But I realized that even just 30 minutes or just one little pocket of time can shift everything. You don't need a perfect idea, or you just don't need to create something deep or meaningful or beautiful. Sometimes it's enough just to show up, pick up the brush, and let your feelings guide the brushstroke. It can be messy, slow, or whatever they need to be. And when you do that, you can feel that something lived inside yourself. You feel lighter, freer. Sometimes inspiration doesn't come before you paint, it comes because you painted. If you are someone with a creative heart trying to survive a full-time schedule, if you love art, love creating, but still work a 9 to 5 to make a living, I see you, I am too, and I truly hope that the ups and downs of your job will never stop you from doing what you love. I know it's really hard sometimes, but when we allow ourselves to do what inspires, what calls us, we give ourselves permission to live more than just one life.